Well, I hope you're doing great on my Sunday. You're probably Saturday if you're in the States or in Canada. Well, I've been trying to make this video for a while, but I just really haven't had a lot of time because on Monday of last week we started our special summer school schedule. And let me tell you about that. The day is divided into two halves, the summer intensive program in the morning and then our normal afternoon courses, with the exception that we get done about 7:30 each evening. Now, the summer intensive program actually is quite interesting. It's 4 classes, each one being 40 minutes, and the students stay in their classroom and we as instructors rotate around. The not troubling, but most interesting aspect of this class structure is that we as instructors didn't know what we were going to teach until 20 minutes ahead of time. And that was a little frustrating, but the courses are really easy. They're a lot of fun. I get to teach 3 speaking classes and then 1 writing class. The other thing that's kind of cool is that there's basically a low level and then the intermediate and high are together. Now, the speaking classes are broken down into 2 areas. The lower level is essentially, here's a picture and let's talk about these 5 questions that relate to it. The more advanced are topical situations such as excuses, and then there are 10 different scenarios, and you discuss with the students what could be various excuses or what could be various responses to this situation, and it's a lot of fun. Each day they have a series of sentences to memorize and recite, which I'm not really sure what the educational objective would be, but in terms of Korean education, that certainly falls within their parameters of learning styles. There's also an idiom taught with the intermediate and advanced students. Catnap, cost an arm and a leg, horsing around, things of those natures that when they go to the States to study, they'll find helpful. The lower level students don't get an idiom. However, during their normal classwork, they would receive such educational information. So I decided to take it upon myself to teach my students an idiom last week. And I am very proud to announce that when you ask my students, what is coffee? They give a resounding reply, that coffee is nectar of the gods. The other thing that's been going on is that we're back in the topic of writing. And on Friday was the first of 2 writing days on this topic. We'll do one Friday and then we'll do one this upcoming Thursday for the Tuesday-Thursday students. And it was on the topic of fan death. Now, in Korea, and specifically South Korea, it is the only nation on the face of the earth that believes in fan death. And if you'd like to know more about it, do a Wikipedia search. But essentially, it is the belief that leaving a fan on at night and falling to sleep in a sealed room will result in your death. Now, I would say about 75% of the Koreans I have met and 75% of my students still believe that this is true, and it's even reported in the news fairly regularly. And the other thing that's interesting is that a lot of fans that you buy at the store have timers on it. They come with warning labels, and if a Westerner has a room and they have a fan on, and sometimes a Korean will come in and clean it as part of hotel service or the service you can get with your apartment, they'll actually turn it off or open a window so you won't die. And it was very interesting to have that kind of conversation with my students. Yeah, it was very interesting. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is chopsticks. Now, chopsticks, as a lot of people are very familiar with, are used to eat Asian food. Now, when I first came to Korea, the first thing that really stuck out in my mind was that Korean chopsticks are flat, as opposed to round that you would see in a Japanese or Chinese restaurant. And I really couldn't find the cultural reason why they're flat. It certainly makes it a little bit more difficult to eat with. And a lot of times people say, oh, it's to get more surface area when you eat certain foods. Koreans eat rice with a spoon, so while I think it would be very helpful to eat rice with flat chopsticks, that's not the cultural significance of it. I did hear one myth that it was used to test to see if food is poisonous, but don't know. So if anyone out there knows the actual cultural derivative of why flat chopsticks came about in Korea, I would love to know, because I haven't found anything as of yet. Anyway, that's it for today. Look forward to talking to you all soon. Next weekend, I'm going to head back to Hawasan Fortress to take a look at the palace inside and also do some traditional archery. Have a great one.